So in almost every interview of Java, I have seen collections questions coming. If there is no collection questions, then trust me, this is not a proper developer role. It's supposed to be a collections questions. So ideally, as we know that in Java, whatever data structure concepts we have, Java people has collected together and they have kept it under the java.util package. So in high level, if you look at the collections structure, how it starts with uh, collection interface. So there is an interface called collection, and within that we have list, set, queue, and I will keep map as a separate because it is there under the util package, but it is not coming as a part of this collections. No? So under the list, again, you have a three array list, vector, and linked list. I think I might be having this inside one of my collections tutorial. Let me open that. So have you worked on vector anytime, Shana?
No, I just read about it.
Okay. In fact, there is a very less usage of vector. Even I don't use frequently that. Okay. Fine. So list, queue, set, and map. List is having the three classes. List is basically an interface which is having a three implemented class, that is array list, vector, and linked list. Queue again having a two implemented class. One is priority queue and another one is the linked list. So basically this linked list is implementing the list interface also and the queue interface also. Similarly, under the set, we have a hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. Under map, we have a hash map, linked hash map, hash table, and tree map. But now there is another map also came called concurrent hash map, which is also a part of map classes only. So the questions which is coming from collections is, it's a start from here. First things, what are the direct interface of collection interface? Or this question can be also asked like, what are the child interface? What are the child interface of the collection interface? So this is the first question. You know that list, queue, set. Next is, what are the three, what are the implemented class of list? What are the implemented classes of list? Then similarly, what is the difference between array list and vector? What are the difference between array list and vector? So this is again one of the important questions. So in high level, I will tell you that vector is a synchronized one and array list is a non-synchronized one. Means array list is not a thread safe, vector is a thread safe. Vector is a slower, array list is a faster. So you can read about this, but yeah, high level, this is the difference. Again, what are the difference between array list and what are the difference between array list and linked list? This is the another question. So linked list, you know that it is having a node, right? Under the
Yes.
node, we have a address and the data. Again, in linked list, we have a three types: very singular linked list, doubly linked list, and circular linked list. So whenever you have a random insertion in the middle of a list, like you want to insert, you want to remove, you want to delete, you want to append. So if you want to do such kinds of things in the middle of a list, then linked list is preferable. And if you
Mhm.
have a simply adding of elements from the bottom, then array list is a faster. So that is the main difference. Again, I will recommend you go and read about it. If you have any doubt or questions, we can talk about that.
Thank you.
Then we have what is queue. So as you know that queue is one of the interface, and the main features of queue is first in, first out. Whoever is coming in first the queue, they will be removed first
Unique.
only. Yeah, first in, first out. Okay, so the one of the implementation of this queue is priority queue. So you have to answer if somebody is asking what is priority queue. So the beauty of this queue is always sorted. When I say sorted, it means whenever, let's see the priority queue example and hope you will understand it. Look at this. So this is the priority queue, first in, first out. I have added many elements out of that. Okay. Now, if I run this program, the output will be coming, printing the all elements, but you have to see the first output. The first output is always a sorted one. What is wrong with this guy? Mhm. Uh, 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 uh. Why this is 10? Mhm. Let me run it now. Some version mismatch is there. I don't know why it is suddenly coming.
Yes.
One sec. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I don't know how the Java compiler version is changing in Eclipse. What ID you are using in your company?
They are using IntelliJ.
IntelliJ, right?
Yes.
That is better. Okay, so look at this output now. So we have added many elements, but the first element is always sorted. Can you
Oh,
see that?
yes. Yes.
So this is the features of priority queue. Whenever you have a lots of data, but you list border, let's take an example. You have a 50 student in a class and you have a single prize to given based upon the age criteria.
Yeah.
So you don't need to sort the all data. You don't need to sort the all student age. Rather than what is your expectation, you want the minimum age people. So their priority queue will be help you. If you use the another sorting algorithm, what it will do, it will sort the whole data. But do you need to sort all data? No, because you are looking for a single elements which is having a most or least age. So the beauty of this data structure is it is not sorting the other data. It is only sorting the first data. If I remove the first data, for example, let us see here. The same element I'm running again. Whenever I will be removing it, there's a method called poll method. First element is sorted 0. What I did, I have pulled it out. The moment I pull it out, again the first element is sorted. Again I pull, again the first element is sorted. So whatever data you are pulling from the priority queue, it is guaranteed that it will be always sorted one. So remember this data structure, whenever you have a need, you can use that. So this is all about the list and queue question. I can't see much questions coming from that, but yeah, trust me, collections is having a huge question set. Apart from that also, I will suggest you look at the open interview questions for collections and you will get a lots of more questions. Again,
Okay.
if doubt or you want clarity, we can connect again to discuss on this. Let's talk about
Okay.
the set. Now, what is the difference between list and set? So this is the question again coming from interviewer side. So as we know that list is a linear data structure where you can keep on adding the elements. Doesn't matter what type of data structure it is, data type it is. In a list, you can keep on adding the different data types value, string, integer, long, all these things. And similarly, you can do similar things into the set as well. But the main difference is set is not allowing the duplicate elements. Whenever you will add any duplicate elements into the set, it will be automatically removed. Then the next question will come immediately, how set is able to identify duplicate elements. Well, it is just a matter of equals and override methods. So inside the hash set or set classes, if you look at the set classes, they are having a equals method and hash code method overrided. One more interesting thing is that internally hash set is using the hash map. Okay, so you know that how hash map works. It is a matter of equals and hash code method. So if you go
Yes.
to the any hash set implementation, here is that. Let me open the hash set class. Go to the hash set class. Under hash set, can you see that it is using the hash
Yes.
map? And if it is a matter of hash map, then anybody can understand how hash map works. Yeah. Then the next
Yes.
question someone can ask you, as you are saying, it is using a hash map, and hash map is always storing the value based upon key and value, right? Map is always storing the value,
Yes.
key and value. Whereas in set, we are just adding the value, right? What about the
Mhm.
key, or
Mhm.
what about the value? You need to tell them whatever data we are setting under the hash set, this is actually a key for the hash map, and value is always a dummy object. So
Mhm.
whenever someone is going to map dot put control F map dot put, that time someone is creating a dummy object, sorry, dummy value, not the object. Whatever
Mhm.
data you have added, this is going to be stored as it is into the map. Look at this. Add method you called, and add method is internally going to store the value as a key. And the moment
Mhm.
it finds that key is coming duplicate, it is automatically going to neglect
Duplicate.
them, right? And this present is a dummy object. If you can look at this, it is one of the dummy object. It is going to be same for each element added under the hash map via hash set.
Mhm.
So now one second.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is very, very important things. I don't know whether you were knowing or not. Internally, hash set is using a hash map, but remember, they can confuse you. Anybody can ask you that map is taking key and value, and here you are passing just one element. So what about the key, or what about the value? So you have to say, whenever we are adding data into a hash set, the add method internally using a hash map, and whatever value we are passing, that value is a key for the hash map. Internally, HashSet class is maintaining a dummy object, which is a value.
Mhm.
And as we
Yes.
know, hash map always have a unique key value, and the identification of duplicate key is coming with the implementation of overriding the equals and hash code method. Understood?
Yes. Yes.
Very good. So this is one of the very interesting. Now, what about linked hash set? What is the linked hash set? Now, the one very interesting thing with the hash set is it will not store the order. When I say order, first let me compose the question. What is the use of linked hash set? So whatever hash set you have seen, this hash set is never going to store the order. Let's run this program and try seeing this. What is happening? You have added null 2 times. Null is avoided. Null is coming as the first elements, and then after it's supposed to come 45, but no, it is coming 23.9. So it is one of the unordered list. I can't say
Mhm.
list, it is unordered data structure. But whenever you have a requirement where you need to have an order also to be maintained, then you have to go with the linked hash set. Linked
Mhm.
hash set is used for maintaining a order. Look at this. This will avoid the duplicate, but at the same time, it will also maintain a order. So 123 you have added first, then 35, then ABC, then 55. Look at this. So this is going to be added in a order. So this is the main difference between has said and linked has said. Okay.
Yes.
Now next question is, what is tree set? Okay. So in tree set, the beauty of tree set is that it will do avoiding of duplicate element, but at the same time it will sort the data. So if I run this example, you will see the data is sorted, right? So whenever you have a requirement of avoiding the duplicate along with sorting the data, the recommendation is go with tree set. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So this is this. Now next is coming map. And the very, very important questions coming from map is how has map works internally. So this question is a very hot question. How does HasMac work internally? And I have seen this question coming from each and every interview of Core Java. How HasMac works internally? So let's try understanding this. I hope most of the things you might be knowing this, but still I will be showing you, and let's discuss a bit on how HasMap works internally. I have bookmarked that. There is one website, they have explained very well how HasMap work internally. So I'm just trying to look into that so that it will help us to understand in better way. Okay, ignore that. How HasMap works internally. Maybe this. Cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you this link as well. Just bookmark this.
Okay.
Okay. So as you know, hash map is one of the data structure which is storing the key and value pair kinds of things. And that is the reason it is not a part of collection interface. It is quite different from the other data structure which we are going to use in our project. Now, first things, hash map is working based upon the hashing algorithm. What is hashing algorithm? Hashing algorithm is for a given number, for a given input, there is some sort of algorithm written which is going to generate the hash number of that. And understanding is for each value, there is a unique hash number. And this work is happening based upon the usage of hash code method written inside the object class. So any class can override these object class methods and try writing their own logic for getting the hash number. Internally, hash map is overriding the equals and hash code method. Inside that hash code method, by default, the default implementation is there. If you not override any hash code or equals method inside your class, then what hash map will do? it will use their default implementation to get the hash number. But without having a hash number, it is not possible to store data into a hash map. So now what is happening inside the hash map? Inside hash map, there is something called bucket. Bucket is nothing but it. You consider this is one of the array blocks. Array, you know, right? It's a
Yes.
continuous data structure, which is a
Mm-hmm.
array with a certain size. That size is depends on the initial capacity given to the hash map. Inside hash map, there is something called uh, replication factor. So if you open any hash map implemented class, let me open that. We'll try understanding that as well. So under hash map, if you look at, whenever you are creating an object, there is something called default initial capacity and maximum capacity and load factor. These three are very, very important. Default initial capacity is 2 to the power 0 to 2 to the power 4. So 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, that is 16. So the default capacity of hash map is 16. It can
Mm-hmm.
store 16 elements. And default load factor is 0.75%. Means whenever 75% of this capacity is occupied, immediately the size of hash map will be changing, and it is a quite costly operation. So as a software engineer, you should understand. Let's try understanding the things. You are very sure that you have to add 20 elements into the hash map. Then it is a highly recommendation while creating a hash map class, try to pass a 20 as a capacity. What is the beauty of this? The moment you will pass the 20, your hash map will be created with the size of 20, and there will be no resizing happening, because the moment it will be reaching to that 20 elements, there will be no resizing happening. But imagine, that your capacity is supposed to be 20, but you have just passed the 5 as a capacity. In this case, the moment 75% of this capacity will be filled up, resizing will be happening. And
Mm-hmm.
resizing is not a very simple work. What is happening? Array data cannot be modified. I remember I told you internally hash map is using a bucket. So what is
Yes.
happening? Again, one new array is created. Again, all data of previous array is copied into the new array. Again, the linking and hashing algorithm is working for all elements, and then it is going to work, because the moment array size change, hashing algorithm also will be changed. Again, hashing algorithm will work to fetch the all hash number for a stored data, and then after it will be keep on adding into the hash map. Think about that, how costly operation becomes then. So that is the reason hash map is having a 0.75% refactoring, I mean load refactor. So it is not waiting till the capacity will fill, then I will do the resizing. No. The moment it's found that 75% of our capacity is occupied, then automatically the load refactoring is happening and new array is going to be created. So that's what we were talking about, the bucket. Sanang,
Mm-hmm.
understanding or not?
Yes, yes, yes. Understood.
Very important concept. Don't ignore this and please focus. Wherever you have a doubt or questions, please ask. Now, whatever bucket you have, this bucket is always going to, with the help of some algorithm, hash map is calculating the hash number of a given element. Based upon the hash number, it is deciding where to store this data into the hash map or bucket. So that is called index. As you know that every
Mm-hmm.
array is stored based upon the index value. So index is finalized, and based upon that, it is going to stored into the hash map bucket. Now, even though you will be passing the null value as a key, for null also hash number is going to be generated, and that is always a 0. For a null key, always hash number is 0. So this is for get method. Let's talk first about the put method. So inside a hash map, there is something called entry class. There is one class called entry class. So inside entry class, it is basically a linked list. If you open this class, entry class, yes, this is an entry class, right? So open this entry class. Actually, it's an interface, but the implementation of this must be there. So this guy is having a get key and get value. You know that linked list is always having key and value
Value.
associated with it, right?
Yes.
So the address and node is there. So node is having some sort of, so entry class is majorly used whenever you will be adding a data into this hash map. First one, entry class object is going to be created. So map.entry, let's come here, put method. So you are getting the key of that, then after you have other parameters, and here is the value. So whenever you are calling put val method, automatically one node is going to be created. This node is nothing but it is a internal class of our hash map. So it is a nested class. Other things, this entry interface I told you, right? So this is one of the interface, and implementation of this entry interface is a node. And look at this key value. Next, so always linked list is having a key value. It's actually a doubly linked list. So it is having key value, and then after it is having a next. What is the next node associated with that? So the moment you add a call put method, this process is happening. Based upon that, your hashing algorithm is giving some sort of hash number, and then it is going to be stored. It is also internally calling the equals method to check that whether key is already existing or not. If key is already existing, it will return the false. Based upon that, hashmap will be taking a call whether this element have to be added or not. So this is the interesting things. So hashmap is working internally. It is creating a map.entry object, which is one of the node, linked list node, and then it is stored into the bucket location. Now, with this example, you can easily understand we have a key, we have a bucket, we have a entries. So each entry is associated with the key and the value. Key and the value. And these are the buckets. Buckets is always going to decide it based upon the hashing algorithm finding the index. So if you understand this example quite more 2-3 times, then you will understand better. Like in high level, you need to understand this is how hash map is working internally. Now, one of the biggest problem with this hash map is the conflicts. This is again one of the very, very important questions. What happens when there is a conflicts in hash map, and how it is happening? Whenever you have a poor hashing algorithm, your hashing algorithm is not so great. It might be that for a two key, you're gonna get a same hash number. In that case, what will be? There is a provision of linked list. Remember, internally it is a linked list. So in the case of conflicts, same index came for a two elements. Now what put method will check? For this index, for example, let's say for this John, same door, there's the same hash number came. Now, these two guys, John Smith and Sandra D, is trying to add into the same location. But first is already there. Because a poor algorithm, Sandra D also got the same index, same hash number. Now hash map will say, here already one John Smith is there. Since it is a linked list node, it will try adding the another node on the same index, but as a linked list. Sana, understood this concept?
So Sandra G it will be added after John Smith.
Exactly. Linked list, the index of these two elements will be same. In bucket, the location of these two elements is same. But when you're going to fetch that, it is a linked list. The each bucket value is actually a linked list. And this linked list is having the link something like this. First value is stored like this. Second value will be next to this. Again, let's say you have added another elements and their hash number also came the same. Index is same. Then again, another elements will be added just after the Sandra D.
Yes. Yeah.
Understood? So this is
Yes.
the interesting things. In hash map, whenever conflicts is happening, then data is going to be stored at the same bucket location as a part of linked list. Okay. Now,
Yes.
so based upon this understanding, now the another questions is coming. What is the time complexity of hash map? So what is the time complexity of hash map? Ideal case, it is a, what I can say, happy case, it is a constant time. It means you just put or get, doesn't matter. It is always a constant time. Doesn't matter how long your hash map is, but while put time, while get time, you are always going to get a constant time value. But in a worst case, what about worst case? Worst case in the sense, whenever you have a conflict, that time it is a order of n. It is a order of n. It means, imagine the worst scenario. You are always returning the same hash number for every entry. You have overridden the hash code method, and every time you are returning the 100. What will be in that case? Every element is going to store in the same index as a part of. So whenever you will be looking for Sandra D, it have to go from each node to node. So number of data added into your hash map will be equal to the iteration. And that scenario, hash map will give you the big O of n, means n complexity. But happy scenario, always it is a constant time, while put or while get. Understood?
Mm,
Little bit confused?
not really. Yes.
Okay. So let's try see this. Time complexity, right? Time complexity of any algorithm is nothing but based upon the input, how your data is, how much time your algorithm is taking. So let's say for array 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 1 comma 0 comma. Okay, so for this algorithm, if I ask you sort this by bubble sort, or not sort, let's try searching the 0 element in that. I'm going to search the 0. What I have to do? I have to use one for loop, correct?
Yes.
And inside this for loop, I will be having a if condition, which is checking the array index I, or I can say, let's consider this is a array. So I will be saying that array of I equal to 0. Then our algorithm will find this element. So till what time this loop will be iterating? It is always starting from 0, right? So you have to design int I equal to 0. I should be less than array dot length I plus plus. This is how your searching algorithm will go. This is called linear search. So time complexity of this algorithm is n. Why? What is the number of elements here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the time complexity here is 5, right?
Yes.
It is a 5 because 5 times the loop is running. Let's say I increase this 90.
90.
Okay, so till this. Now, what is the time complexity of this algorithm now?
It's
Now,
90.
number of elements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now it becomes 9. Now consider it is going till 1000. What is the time complexity now? 1000, right?
Yes.
Consider this is going till n. So what is the time complexity now?
Yes.
N. You got it, right?
So,
So what you
yes.
understood? Based upon your
So,
data increase, your time complexity also increase. Yeah, tell me.
so in the case that we have the same index, in that case, we will have one for the linked list.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
For the example where we put the same key, the same reference, and we have a linked list created instead of having different references. If you can go back to the website where we have the schema.
You want me to go to the hash map here?
Yes. In this case, for example, that Joe Smith, we created a linked list here, and all the entries we have, they all point to 152. In this case, the time complexity is 1.
Is n, not 1. Why? Because you are going to fetch the data. That's what I'm trying to come. So in linked list case, your node is going to be something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this, right? And this is your index. Let's consider this is our index 152 based upon this example. See, 152. What we found, there is a conflict happening every time your data is stored like this. Now you have to get this 5. What you have to do? You have to come from 1, right? 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5.
Yes.
So what happened? It is iterating till this element, right? Just like this. So your time complexity here is a n. So it means here also it is a n. Yes. If your data found, but at the same time, for this elements, your value is sitting on the first index. There is no linked list here. I mean linked list is there, but there is no another elements, right? So here it's a constant. The moment you will say get key, immediately you will be pointed to this location and you will get a value of this. But here you will get Sandra D, it will be coming here, it will be going John Smith first, then it will be coming to the Sandra D. If there is 100 elements, then it will be going till 100 elements and then it is reaching to the Sandra D. So your time complexity is n here. You have to go through the all elements in one line. Whenever while fetching the data, you have to go to till all elements. Then time complexity is n. Because you are going all elements. Your data increased, your algorithm increased. Understanding or not?
Yes, yes, it's clear. Yes.
Yeah, so this is important. Now, certain algorithm is there. Your data increase, but your time complexity will be always constant. Doesn't matter one elements, it will give you in one time, or it is 100 elements, still it will give you in the one shot. It will not go to loop. Wherever you found there is a loop, it is an algorithm. I mean, you can say it is not constant time. It is a big O of n or big O of log n. Wherever you found a two loop, nested for loop, loop inside loop, time complexity is n square. Wherever you found loop, inside loop, three loops inside that, it is a n cube.
Mhm.
That is bad. It's okay to have till big n square, but it is also not good. But if you don't have any option, like you are playing with the matrix is always row and column. You cannot avoid two loops there. You must have to use two loops. But as you are growing, if you use a algorithm which is having a constant time complexity or max big O of n, that is acceptable. But n cube, oh my god, that is bad. Because if it is a cube, see here itself, let's take your n is 2. Okay,
Yes.
now for big O of n, it is a 2. N square, what will be? It is 2 into 2, which is equal to 4 times your loop will be running. Your data is
Mhm.
only 2, but your loop is running 4 times. Now what about n cube? This is your n square. This is your n square. Now think about n cube.
Mhm.
2 into 2 into 2. What is this?
It.
8, right? Now change
Mhm.
this data just to 10. What will be 10 tender? 100 times. And here, how many
Thousand.
times?
Thousand.
1000 times. For a 10 elements in your array list, you are iterating how many times?
Thousand.
Thousands time. Now consider this n becomes thousands. What will
Wow.
be? So your time complexity for this algorithm will be worst.
Mhm.
That is the reason it's not advisable to use three loop inside. Never
Yes.
ever have a three loop inside. So hash map is always a constant time because they are considering you have a proper hashing algorithm, and the moment you will call me, I will give you data in one shot. But if it is worst case, then it will be go for big O of n. And Java people has realized that. That is the reason what they did is instead of linked list, they have come up with something called black and white tree. You tree data structure, binary tree,
Um, the tree we saw that sorts the data and
tree data
remove the.
structure. It's very, very important. You need to understand. So now this
Mhm.
is tree data structure.
Ah, yes, yes. I thought you were talking about the tree collection.
No, no, no. This data structure,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
what is the time complexity of this?
Mhm.
It's a log n. What is
It
log n?
depends.
So let's say for this element, this is not a binary tree. Let me take this one. So for this tree, always it is a balanced tree, something like that. Who? Mm, not this, yaar. Balanced binary tree. So for this tree, look at this. Whichever is a greater element from this root node, it will go this side. Whichever is a lesser, it will come to left node. Similarly here, whoever is a greater, it will go this side. Whichever is lesser, it will go to the left node. Here also, lesser will go this side, greater should go this side. So how the time complexity of tree detector is less, try understanding. So if I give you the data, search the 3, what you will do immediately? You will compare this data with the root elements, whether it is a lesser or greater. 3 is a lesser. So you know that your data is sitting under this side, left node side, right? You are not going to iterate these many data. You have escaped this data. So half data is automatically removed,
Skipped, yes.
skipped, right? Half
Yes.
data is automatically skipped. That is the reason your time complexity is immediately become half. Again, here also you will compare with this node, whether whatever data I'm searching, which is greater or lesser. You found greater. It means here, means immediately half of this data is skipped, right? Here also.
Yes.
So this is the lesser time complexity than big O of n. And complexity you have seen. It is lesser than that. It is always n half. Understanding or not? So what
Yes.
Java people did is they were internally using the hash map linked list. But they found that if data is 1,000, then linked list is always giving a less, n time complexity. So can we do something better here? That is the reason. If your data is, if you found a conflicts and number of elements is 8 or more than 10, immediately hash map will change the linked list to a balanced tree. So from Java 8 onwards, now if data is more than 10 elements in a same index, then Java will automatically convert this linked list into a balanced or black and white binary tree or balanced tree, you can say. So if you go to this down, somewhere this guy is talking about how hash map work in Java 8. Performance issue in Java 8. Look at this. So if you read through this, you will automatically come to know that internally, when performance is a problem, then it is becomes well balanced hash map. And how this well balanced? By using the balanced tree they are using internally to reduce the time complexity of hash map. Understood?
Yes.
See, it is saying that the worst case scenario, if all nodes in the hash map are tree nodes, then memory overload of Java hash maps improves. So they are using the balanced tree. So this is interesting. Please keep it in mind so you will be understanding it better. So time complexity, you understand.
Yes.
Performance issue in, you can write this question like this. What was the performance issue in hash map till Java 7? How hash map behaves in Java 8 when there is a conflict? All questions are related, right? You understand, right? So what is
Yes.
happening in the case of conflicts, how time complexity vary in case of worst scenario, what is the tree, why they have converted linked list to a map, because their time complexity is reducing. So these questions, trust me Sana, you have to prepare well. Okay, then it
They
is
ask
a
in the
uh-huh.
interview. They ask about the balanced tree, the algorithms used in the calculation of trees.
I'm sorry, come again.
They ask in the interview about balanced binary tree and the other algorithms used in uh, calculation. Because when I was studying, we studied different algorithms used in trees. I'm wondering if I need to go through them all.
You are talking about tree data structure.
Yes,
Can you
the
type?
algorithm.
Mhm.
Yes, the algorithms used to calculate to reduce the time calculation.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I will type it.
Please. So saying the algorithm used in HashMap for reducing the time complexity. After that, what? I didn't understand.
Yes.
Okay. Algorithm is to calculate the shortest path in tree. So this is the balanced tree algorithm. See, balanced tree, binary, or all of them. See, it's good to know all. Trust me. Tree data structure is very, very important. It's good to know. In fact, if somebody is asking you how the time complexity is reduced in by using the tree, balanced tree, then you should give this example, because balanced tree is always having a shortest data in a left node and greater data in the right node. At least this you should know. But other algorithms, there's a lots of implementation of binary tree, black and white binary tree. There's a lots of things. Trust me, even I don't know all the tree data structures concept, but it will be highly sufficient at least to know how balanced tree is working internally, how the time complexity is reduced. Got it?
Yes.
But again, it's good to work on tree data structure. For a tree data structure itself, if you want to really practice, I will show you the. There is one folder in my Git called logical program. Under this logical program, you will be able to see a tree data structure. So if you want to prepare, look at this binary tree demo, check for identical, check for average, height of a tree, total number of nodes. Are you getting my point? So
Yes.
there are lots of questions across these things. So please go through this and work upon this. There's many questions related to binary search also. In fact, you must be heard about binary search. Just now we talked about this search algorithm, which is a linear search. How binary search algorithm works? It is first sorting the data, right? And then after whatever data you are searching, it is checking with the middle elements. If your data is greater, it will go to the
Yeah.
right side. If it is lesser, it will go to the right side. It will directly skip the half of your data. Agree or not?
Yes. Yes.
So that's a binary search again. Wherever binary word came, remember it's a tree, and the time complexity is lesser than, and that is log n, log and time complexity. Okay.
Yes.
If you want to know more about this time complexity and algorithm, I will again give you one YouTube channel link. This guy will explain well. Abdul Bari. So there's one series, algorithm. Okay. So please go through this. This is really, really interesting. Okay. So follow this YouTube channel. This guy will explain you the whole time complexity funda. what is constant time, how to calculate a time complexity of any algorithm. It is brilliantly explained, but definitely you need a little bit background of mathematics. So I hope you know the basic mathematics, you can understand it.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question is, what is the difference between hash map and hash table? Again, very important questions. Hash table is used for avoiding the null key and null value. It is also a synchronized one. So whenever you have a synchronization uses, use the hash map. Now, what is the next one? What is tree map? So tree map is again used for sorting purpose. Just like a tree set, whenever you want to sort the data of map based upon the key, use the tree map. Tree map is used for sorting the data. So based upon these things, if you are comfortable with these questions related to map, trust me, you are 100% okay to crack any interview.
Yes.
But remember this question, how hash map works internally, is a very,
Yes.
very important question. Okay, other questions is coming here is, what is comparator? What is comparable? And what is the difference between these two? So if you know these two, then easily you can answer the what is comparator and what is comparable. So you know that sorting of data, whenever you are talking about sorting internally, either you are using comparable or a comparator. So whenever you have whenever you have a situation, you have to sort the data based upon a two attribute. Two attribute in the sense, this is the class L, and you want to sort this class L object based upon I value and J value also. Then you are going to use the comparator. Whenever you have a requirement to sort a data based upon a single attribute, then you are going to use the comparable interface. These two interfaces are functional interface. When we say functional interface, what is the meaning of that? It is having a single method inside that. So I will write these questions also here. What is functional interface? What is functional interface? So based upon this, you are done with the collection. I don't think so there is a much in this collection, but that's not end also. There's a plenty of questions coming. You can work upon that. You can practice
Yes.
the questions, make yourself completely available, understandable about these all questions. But I have given you the questions. If you prepare these questions properly, trust me,
Yes.
nobody can tell you that you are rejected in core Java. Core Java, definitely, you will be 100% okay with this. Not only for a fresher, it is for advanced level also. And I hope
Thank you.
this documentation access you have with you, right?
Yes. Yes.
Good. So now kick start, Control Shift N. This one, let me put under, okay. Any more questions in core Java you want to discuss, Anna, which
No,
I'm
for the
missing?
moment. For the moment, no one. Maybe when I go through the session, I will have another questions.
Yeah, sure. You must. You have to go through this, and then after you can come up with your questions and all. So with that, We are done with this core Java interview preparation questions. And once you will tell, sir, I'm ready with the mock interview of core Java, then we
Mhm,
can start asking you, we can have a session. I will ask you the
mhm,
questions of core Java and you have
mhm,
to answer me. Based upon that answer, if I found we need to add 1 or 2 points, we can add
mhm,
or we can
mhm,
proceed. So all
mhm,
questions randomly I will ask you from anywhere and you have to answer me. This session we will have 2 3 times, and based upon that we will be deciding you are learning or not, or are you prepared for interview or not. So remember,
mhm,
for each questions you have to spend time and prepare for your mock interview. Yeah,
mhm. Yes,
make
yes,
sense?
yes, yes, it makes sense. Yes.
Okay, so now let's move ahead with the other topic. It might be a
Mhm.
boring for you. I don't know how much you have enjoyed with this core Java questions preparation.
It was not boring. It was summarizing the essential points in for the interview.
Right, because I targeted all the core Java topic here so that it is a kind of revision for you, trust me.
Yes.
So now it's time to learn the new technology, new framework, which is
Mm,
Angular. Okay, so Angular we're gonna start today.
mhm.
Mm, 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 mm. Mhm, mhm. Okay. Before that, let me know how good you are in HTML. You know basic of HTML, right?
Yes, yes. I had a 6 month job in PHP and basic HTML.
Okay, that's really good. And then you must be knowing basic of CSS also, right?
Yes, yes,
Have you used the Bootstrap library of CSS anytime?
yes. I used it. Yes.
Very good. What about JavaScript? How good you are in JavaScript?
I worked with it some maintenance modifications with PHP. I used basic JavaScript and basic jQuery.
That's really good. So if I ask you to write a code of JavaScript here, you can write, right?
I need to look at the syntax because it's been 2 years.
No, this console, you know,
Oh yes,
Java,
yes, yes,
you know this,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So what will be the output here?
Uh, 80, 90. Oh, after. Yeah, sorry. It's
Now it will
after.
be 90.
Yes.
So it's a post increment, right? So it means the immediate. Okay, so this is the post increment, right? So that's the reason the value of addition is reflecting in the next statement, right? Not at the same time. But at the same time, if I write plus a, it will be a 91 immediately because it is a pre-increment, right? So this is the basic things. You must be knowing that here also, if I call alert function here itself, it will be popped up here, something like this, right? So there is something called DOM, right?
Mhm,
Document Object Model, which is nothing but your documents. So the moment you have a documents object, it means the whole page is selected. See, the whole page is nothing but it's your DOM, document
mhm.
object model. So the moment I return documents, look at this. It has been selected whole page. Can you notice?
Yes.
And under this DOM object, you have a many methods. If you want to check the location where you are actually, you can get it. Under
Mhm.
this, you have other methods like URL. Yes or no? This is the URL.
Yes.
Lots of methods are there which is inbuilt available with the browser, in fact in all browsers. So these browsers objects you can easily use, or methods you can call without importing or exporting anything. Make sense?
Yes, yes.
So JavaScript is very important things, trust me, in a world of UI. And now this day, every place people are initial days, what was happening? The whole logic was written in the backend, like rendering of Java, I mean HTML page, how the CSS should be, what color, how to render the data. All these things are in a backend. But situations change. There is a tremendous improvement in the JavaScript side. People started doing lots of adventurous things in the JavaScript, and it's having the pros and cons. Whenever you are doing the processing of JavaScript or UI code processing in a backend, that is actually not a clean coding. You are actually breaking the principle of single responsibility principle. So that we wanted that if it is a loop and I want to render the all data of that loop into the UI, why backend will do that? Why can't UI library will iterate this loop and display the whole data, right? So that's the reason people started using the lots of framework, started developing the lots of frameworks related to this UI, and Angular is one of the widely used framework in the world of UI right now. Angular framework. Okay, so Angular is one of the JavaScript framework which is going to be used now this day, especially for single page response.
Mhm.
SRP. This word is very important. Single page response. Now, trust me, you must need the fundamental of JavaScript, because now these days people are developing a project in JavaScript, pure JavaScript. You have a Node.js, you have Angular, everything. So you might not need a Java at all. Node
Mhm.
is treating as a server and other Angular and all. So there is something called uh, mean stack developer. So if you look at this course, this guy don't need any concept of Java. M stands for Mongo, stands for Express, stands for Angular, and N stands for Node. So with these four technology, you can create any web application. You don't even need the Java, Server, Tomcat, Spring, Hibernate, nothing you need. You just need this four technology: Mongo, Express, Angular, and Node. Node is a replacement for your Java. Angular is a replacement of your JavaScript. Express is a replacement of your service layer. And Mongo is a replacement for your database. It's a NoSQL database. So,
Mhm.
so in industry, many people are getting a job from this technologies. Okay. So mean stack developer. So the developer who is using this UI technology to develop any projects known as mean stack developer. Understood?
So uh, if I have the if I must master the JavaScript, it will be easy to be developer in this technology. I mean, because it's 100% JavaScript.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you. Come again.
Uh, uh, for me, it will need just to be good as a JavaScript, and the same principle is applied in the backend and in the front end.
Yeah. So if you know JavaScript, that is highly sufficient. But yes, Angular you should know, Mongo you
Mhm,
should know, but Express Node is just like a JavaScript. Very
mhm,
simple.
mhm,
It's not very complex.
mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So now this even Angular is internally using the Node.js. I will show you.
Mhm,
So it's a server. Your UI server is going to be come up with the help of Node only. So we'll talk about this. So, but yeah, at the same time, what kind of projects to develop under this mini stack and what kind of project still need a proper Java backend and other
Yes.
programming languages backend? It depends on the data, how sensitive data you hold, how good quality of data you want to maintain. If you ask me, banking projects can use this project, answer is no, because their data is very sensitive, right? Highly
Mhm.
sensitive data, highly confidential data, and also they are always dealing with the relational database. Since these are the two constraints, so banking project cannot be developed with this technology. What about the e-commerce project? Yes, you can do that. There
Mhm.
you have a mostly displaying the data and you don't care about the structure of data. So that situation you can go. E-commerce website can be developed with this. Understood?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So with this background, we are okay to go ahead. But just like a Java versions, there is a different versions of JavaScript also. And the official name of JavaScript is ECMAS. ECMAScript. So
Mhm.
if you type here JavaScript tutorial, so there is a W3 school. What happened? JavaScript W3 school. Just open it and you can read about this lots of fundamentals about JavaScript. Among them, there is a official name somewhere. The name of JavaScript is ECMAScript. Yes.
Oh,
You know,
mhm.
JavaScript and Java is completely different language. Trust me. I hope you must be knowing this. Whenever it's a fresher guys, they are understanding JavaScript and Java are same, but it's not like that. JavaScript was invented by Brendan Eric in 1995. Big salute to this guy. It became a ICMA standard in 1997. And from that time, we are saying ICMA 260, official name of this standard is ICMA script. So in short, we are saying ICMA script is the official name of this language. ICMA script. Okay. So there is a
Yes.
tremendous changes in this version. But there is a huge change happening in ICMA 6. There is a huge change happen in ICMA 6, and you will be surprised what changes happen. JavaScript people realize that object-oriented programming is taking lots of popularity. Why can't we work in such a way that we also write a logic or class object kinds of features into a JavaScript? And that's
Yes.
where ECMAScripts came. Yeah. So if you
Like
are a
Java.
Java developer now, ECMAScript is coming with lots of Java related things. Look at this. You were asking some questions, please.
Uh, I just said it became like Java.
It's
It became like Java.
yeah, it's become like a Java. In fact, I can say it becomes like a object oriented.
Uh,
Not only Java. Java is one of the object oriented programming language. You have a C sharp, right? You have other
yes.
programming language which is object oriented programming. So any object oriented programming can be used. Okay, so there is a lots of changes happened like let variable, const variable, functions, lambda, all these things. Look at this. This is the lambda expression, one of the lambda expression. Enhance for loop. Lots of things happen. So if you know Java, then the ECMAScript will not be a big problem for you. And when Angular started, Angular people has developed their first version called Angular JS. What is that? Angular
Yes.
JS. It is a JavaScript, pure JavaScript. There is no uses of ECMAScript 6 or anything. It was a pure JavaScript. But in the next versions of Angular, they realized that Angular JS is going to be not get much popularity. And this is developed by which company? Google. So the Angular is a framework developed by Google, and it is one of the open source. So now think about this. Angular JS was just like a jQuery or other JavaScript framework. EXTJS, Vue.js, lots of JS was there. But Google people realized that because of ECMAS 6 release, the popularity of JavaScript, pure JavaScript, is no more exist now. We have to adopt the features of object oriented. So in the next version of Angular, what they did is they have removed the JS and they told the new framework has came called Angular, just Angular, no JS. So usually whenever any software release is happening, like Java 8 to Java 9, what is happening? All features of Java is supported. Java 8 is supported in Java 9. Java 9 is having the additional features. Similarly, Java 9 to Java 10, the most of the syntax and things are similar. But in Angular, what happened? The whole structure itself is changed. If you're thinking Angular JS and Angular is exactly the next versions of release, actually it's not. It is completely changed. Angular JS to Angular, there is no comparison. Consider the actual framework start from Angular 2 onwards. If somebody is saying, I know Angular JS, can I learn Angular 2 also easily? Answer is no, you cannot. Angular
Yes.
JS is the first version, agree. But Angular 2 onwards, it is entirely a new things came. They considered 2 because of Angular first version has been released with the JS, but they really realize that Angular JS is no more used in upcoming days. So let's not add JS. Rewrite the whole framework in such a way that which is a future specific. So that what they majorly change, I will tell you. Internally, Angular is using the one of the language called TypeScript. So whatever class, object, whatever things you've seen in the ECMAS 6, that is nothing but it is a TypeScript. So if you want to learn Angular, then you must have to learn first basic of at least TypeScript. So the new programming language is nothing but TypeScript, which Angular, React, everyone is using. So now try to learn TypeScript tutorial W3 school. So some of the example we will see here, and then after we will be moving towards the Angular. Make sense?
Yes.
So sort of understanding or not, since you have worked in the UI side, so it will be good for you to grab these all concepts and all, right?
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Yeah. So features of TypeScript. The code written in TypeScript is compiled to JavaScript for the purpose of execution. Now, there was a problem. Whenever you introduce the object-oriented related syntax, object-oriented related concepts, then the problem was your JavaScript is not understanding these concepts. This syntax is your JavaScript, the engine, whatever your browser is there. They're not understanding the TypeScript language. That was the major problem. The code written in TypeScript should also run in the browser only, but the browser is saying, I'm sorry, I don't know what is TypeScript. I only understand the JavaScript. So what they did, they written one compiler. What this compiler will do, it will compile your TypeScript code, check the every syntax and all, and later it has converted into a JavaScript code. So each TypeScript code is compiled and converted into your JavaScript code. I will show you that, don't worry. So when I will run the TypeScript code, then I will show you how the JavaScript code has been converted into that. So there is a compiler associated with the TypeScript.
Mhm.
Okay. So Angular, React, every UI framework is using TypeScript as a development, but when it is coming a
So,
time for running, it is converted into a
mhm.
JavaScript.
So, so if the learning of TypeScript and Angular, would it make it easier, for example,
Your
to
your
add?
voice quality is not so great. Looks like your headphone is very near. Can you put little bit far?
Sorry. I said learning TypeScript and Angular, would it make it easier in the future, for example, to work on React and Express and
Yeah,
Node?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely, definitely. If you learn the TypeScript, then React other framework will be easy for you.
Mhm.
Is that your question? Or you asked some different question? I don't know.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, it's my question.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about if it will help to apply for it too or not.
Yeah, yeah. TypeScript now becomes the popular language, and every UI framework is going to use TypeScript, not pure JavaScript. So if you understand TypeScript,
Okay.
then you can easily switch from Angular to React or anywhere.
Okay.
The main concept of React is it is a virtual DOM. It is creating a virtual DOM. So I just shown you the document object model, right? This whole page is a DOM object.
Mhm.
So whenever you are doing any changes in the DOM, what is happening? Your browser is refreshing, and then after your data is coming, right? So what React is saying, in a case of React, it is just creating a virtual DOM.
Yes.
One second, Sana. I'm getting one important call. Okay, so yeah, so the compiler which converting your TypeScript into JavaScript, it is what is the name of that compiler? TypeScript to JavaScript, huh? Transpiler. What is the name of
Mhm.
this compiler? Transpiler. Okay, so your transpiler is there who is doing this job for you. So you can read about this TypeScript versus JavaScript. What are the different data types? For example, if I take the hello world of this TypeScript, see how the TypeScript program looks like. You have a variable defined along with the data types. So in JavaScript, there was no data type, if you know that, right? Everything is var and let, right? But in a
Yes.
TypeScript, you have now data types. So this becomes now a string. Similarly, if you not put any data types here, it will be considered as a string or whatever value you have given. This is, see, one thing. This is your TypeScript code. Once it is compiled, then it becomes your JavaScript
Oh,
code, something like this. Got it or not? So this is
yes.
your TypeScript code. After compilation, it becomes your JavaScript code. And this work happen. Here is a step. Compile. Compiler is going to compile your code with this command tsc. Just like a Java compiler, right? We are writing a Java C and then we are
Yes.
writing a class name. Here also tsc is the command by which you can compile. If you have a multiple, then you can write this like this. Use below command to terminal window to execute your TypeScript. So this is one of the hello world example. Like this way, you can look at the interface also. In TypeScript, we have an interface which was not there in the Java. So interface, if you know in the Java, it is exactly the
Mm.
similar like things, Only the syntax will be changed. For example, I want to create one person, interface person. See first name, last name, and one method here, say hi. So you have to define something like this. Then after you have to uh, initialize the constructor, something like this. You have created one customer object of this interface. And then after you are defining object value, printing the value. It is just like a similar like your Java. Don't worry, you will easily understand the code. Okay,
Yes.
fine. So let's talk about a bit more Angular history. So Angular is the most popular JavaScript framework and platform for developing client-side mobile and desktop apps for or a single page application. So single page application, you know what is the meaning of single page application?
Mm,
Okay, so
no.
this Gmail, the
Mm,
first very successful single page application is your Gmail.
mhm.
So in have you seen that whatever you are doing here, it is not
Stay. Stay
changing your
on the
UI,
same.
it is coming on the same page, right? It
Yes.
is in the same page. Whatever you will do, it is here only. That is the meaning
Mm,
of single page application. So in Angular,
yes.
whatever you are doing, it is happening in the same page. So whenever you have a requirement to develop a similar application like single page application, because now this day everyone wants single page application. But initial days, what was happening? If you click here, another window came. Whole page is refreshed. This navigator has changed. Everything has changed. But if you
Mhm,
look at this only section is changing based upon the action I have taken. The rest all are same, right? This is
mhm,
same, this is same, this is same. So this is the single page application example. So every application now this day wants the single page application. They don't want to refresh the page for each request. Angular community has released its latest version known as Angular 8, but it's not like that. Angular 11, 12 also released. It's a matter of just performance. Some features has been added. So the
mhm.
tutorial which I'm going to teach you, it is on Angular 8. Okay, not on
Yes.
Angular 9 or 10. But if you want, you can upgrade it easily. There is some
Mhm,
sort of features added. It's very difficult to chase, you cannot chase that. Angular 8 is one of the stable versions, and I learned it here. Whenever I have a need to learn Angular 9, I will go and add the new features into my project. That's all. Just like a
mhm.
Java. See, Java people has released 16, 17 version. I don't know. But we are still stable on the Java 8. So it's very difficult now this day to chase these versions. Angular
Yes.
people has decided in every 6 months they will release one major version. Like today you learn Angular 8, after 6 months it will be Angular 9. After 6 months it will be Angular 10. It's very difficult for any developer to go and chase these versions. Rather than take a concept from Angular 2. If you learn Angular 2 also, it will be highly sufficient for you to understand further versions of Angular. But I have taken 8 because that time it was 8 was the latest version, and from
Mhm,
that time I didn't get time to upgrade myself on this.
mhm.
But trust me, if you learn Angular 8 properly, then further versions of Angular will be very easy for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mhm,
So it is saying, I'm saying if you are familiar with the previous version of Angular, it will be not a difficult for you. What is Angular 8? Angular 8 is an open source client side TypeScript based JavaScript framework. Don't forget this TypeScript.
mhm.
It is written in a TypeScript and compiled into a JavaScript that I told you. I can add here by using transpiler. Okay, so there is a compiler called transpiler, which is converting our TypeScript into a JavaScript. Angular 8 is used for create dynamic web application. Definitely, it's not for a static application. If you want to develop a static web application, HTML itself is highly sufficient,
Mhm.
right? But here we are
Yes.
going to deal with the dynamic web application. It means there is a proper client server communication. There is a request and response. It is very similar to the previous version, except having some extensive features. And features is mostly related to performance mostly related to added a couple of new features. A dynamic web application is simply a dynamic website, that is gmail.com, facebook.com, etc. Time to time, news update, web application, location to location application, user to user application. So these are the different categories of dynamic web application. Angular JS, which is also known as Angular 1.0, is a pure JavaScript based open source front-end framework. It is maintained by Google. Angular JS can be added to a HTML page by using the script, just like pure JavaScript. You can use the Angular JS. Because Angular JS was the first version of Angular, so it is also known as Angular 1, and it is released in 2010. Now see what happened. Angular 2 was a complete rewrite of Angular JS. As I told you, it's a rewrite. It was not like that whatever version we are holding in the Angular JS, the same has been used here also. It is completely a rewrite. It was first released in 2016, and the final versions of this was in September 2016. Then what are the features added into the Angular 4? You can read about it. Some Google team updated that, avoid the confusions. One more interesting thing. There is no Angular 3. After Angular 2, there is directly Angular 4. You know why? Because the moment Google people realize that one of the library which is used by the Angular framework, their version was 3 already released. Let me put you there. So what I'm trying to say, let's talk about a Spring framework. So right now we have a Spring version, something called 8. For example, this guy is using a Java 8. Okay, what happened suddenly when Spring 9 was about to release? What they did internally, since Spring is a Java framework, so this Spring was using Java 8. Now what happened when they were working on Spring 9? Java 9 released and Java 10 also released. Now see what happened. Now Spring people think there is a Java 10 released. We are still in Spring 9. What should I do? Because we are directly using the Java internally. So what Spring people might think, let's skip the 9 and directly release the 10. Same thing happened with the
Yes.
Angular people also. This is just example I given you.
Mhm.
So Angular people were using one of their library. Their version was released higher than what they were working currently. So that is the reason Angular people realized that let's not have Angular 3 rather than directly move with the Angular 4, because one of their library were already in the version 4. Understood?
Yes.
See, it's written here. Uh, Google team skipped Angular 3 to avoid the confusion due to the misalignment of the router package version. Okay, so there was something called router package. This router package was already released 3, so that they found that let's move directly with the 4. 3 was used in the 2 itself,
Mhm.
so they found why to go with 3 now. Let's directly go to the Angular 4.
Four. Mhm.
These are for theory purpose. They might ask you, some interviewer can ask you why there is no
Yes.
Angular 3. So it's good to
Yes.
know. Angular 5 was improved version of previous one. Yes, there's lots of improvement, only improvement, only improvement. You can read about these all things. But this time we are going to first set up our environment. Okay, so in my system, I have already installed the Angular So if I open my command prompt and I will be checking my node version, because I told you node is already required for Angular. So first you have to install node. Then I can also check my ng version. So I'm using the Angular version higher than 8, that's for sure, because I have recently upgraded. But the concept might be, so look at this. I'm using Angular 11. Node version is this one. Windows operating system is this one. So these are the things you have to do by yourself also. So what I'm going to do, since I already have installed this, let's first install this in your system. So will you be able to share your screen so that we can install it in your system, or you want to do it offline?
Uh, it's the same.
You want to do now?
Yes.
Okay. So let's share your screen, Sana, and open the link which I have given to you.
Maybe I need the rights to share.
Your voice is very low. I'm not getting you.
Maybe I need the rights to share the screen.
Right. I need to make you host. Yep. Made you. Yeah. So very good. Move ahead. This time your system is super fast. What you did?
I reboot it.
How's your office work going on, Sana, now this day?
There is a little bit of workload these days, but it's okay.
So you are working under the same manager, or your manager has been changed?
Same manager. I just had a problem with him last Friday.
Oh, I see. Okay, so installation is done. Let's go to the program files. I mean, C drive program files. Programmers. Look at the node somewhere. Copy the path. Set the environment variable. You know how to set environment variable?
Yes.
Type here in env environment. Okay, very good. Open the path section. Modifier. Oh, add. I don't know your language, so please Add a new one. Paste that, whatever you have copied.
And enter.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Open the command prompt and type here node space -v. Yep, your node is installed successfully. That's really good. Let me send you the other things. Now what you have to do is the next step is install TypeScript. So you have to run this command which I'm sending right now. Look at the chat, copy this
Yes.
and run this one. Yeah, let it be completed. So we are installing now TypeScript because as you know, Angular is internally using the TypeScript. So after the node, we have to install TypeScript.
Yes.
Once TypeScript is done, then we have to install
I think it is done.
Angular also. So now run this command, whatever I pinged you again. So now we are installing the Angular. This is also done. So the Angular is also installed. Let me help you the versions, no need. Now just for a quick hello world, we are going to work a quick hello world. So let me see your screen. It is still coming. Let it be installed perfectly. Once this will be done, we can check that what is the Angular versions we are using. Cool. Now run the command which I given to you. Oh, skip the use. Just ng -n version. Can you scroll down? See Angular 13. We are already in the Angular 13. Okay, so that will be fine. Now you want to create any sample folder where we can you create one folder here, just hello world, Angular hello world or something like that. Very good. Open the command from here. What you need to do, wherever the path is there, go to the path section. Type cmd. Cmd. Remove the whole things and type cmd. Remove everything. Enter. Yep. So this is the way from which location you want to open this. Okay. Now run the same command ng -version. Cool. Now let's run the hello world example here. Run this command, which I'm gonna send you. Ng new, and app name you can give hello world. Ng space new, and you can say hello world. Good. So by running this command, what will be the basic structure of your Angular will be created. You remember the Spring Boot application? Whenever we are going for the press yes. So whenever we were going to the Spring Boot project, we are going to the Spring Initializer. There we are adding the package, versions, everything. And then we will go download, right? So once we download
Mhm.
that, we're gonna get one ready-made project structure for a Spring Boot. You remember?
Yes. Mhm.
Similar like this.
With the
So
density.
exactly. So Angular is also giving you these features by which you can easily create a hello world application. And from there, you can start writing your business logic and all. So once again, what you need to do is press enter. So it is installing the all packages related to the basic like a Spring Boot. So it is also doing the bootstrapping of your hello world application. And then after we will see how the hello world application looks like. And these classes recording is already available, Sana. So what I will be do is I will already share you the video link of Angular. So no need to record every day. It is will be the same because I have taken this class. Okay.
Thank-
So you
Yes.
can use that recording. And I hope this documentation is already with you, right? Whatever the interview questions we have composed so far.
Yes. Yes.
Good. It will take some time.
Mhm.
It's taking time first time, hopefully. Next time it will not take. And you have Visual Studio inside your system?
Um, I don't think so.
Let's download that as well. It's not there. So you need to download the Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code actually. Visual Studio Code download. You have a 64-bit, right? So yeah, can download that.
Mhm.
It will be downloading. It's taking good amount of time.
Yes, maybe the connection.
Have you worked on Visual Studio Code before, Sana?
Uh, I used it to open some code before, but um, not the main IDE. Just use it to visualize code.
Oh,
Is there a difference between it and Eclipse?
yes. There is a difference between Eclipse and Visual Studio. Mainly, this is for Angular or UI related code.
Mhm.
This guy is having a support for. Oh, one second, one second, one second, one second.
Oh,
You need to install those two. No worries. Mm, installation is still going on. Oh,
yes.
let it be complete then. Susanna, it looks like it's taking time. No worries. We can continue from tomorrow. Yeah?
Okay.
Since it is 10.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.